I'm sad, y'all. Normally, I would open up with a question, and I do have one, but I know my arm will be center of attention to some degree with this. So, the quick and fun answer is I'm sad. But I also know this is God redirecting me. So, the question is, have you ever taken the time to sit down and think about how many times God had did something that you thought was an inconvenience, but it really wasn't, it was a redirection? Don't worry, I'll wait because I ain't got nothing but time, y'all. Welcome back, cousins. I'm finally back. And my hair is in braids. I have a really big forehead, so don't worry. I know these things already. I'm still growing into it. And cousins, I'm back. Yay! Anywho's, guys, I'm back. It's been a while. I'm sorry, but I had some things that I needed to tend to and get together. And also, now that it's over, I was in the middle of a fast. So my focus was really heavily on that. But I'm back. And y'all know the rules. First and foremost, we give ourselves grace and we praise God over here. This is a safe space. But we also give ourselves grace just like God gave us grace, and we extend that grace to others. 2, this is a safe space. Y'all know this already, cousins. We family at this point. And 3, like, comment, share, subscribe with all the other friends or people who might need it to help reach the right audience. But sorry, I have a child home today. It's always fun. But yes, we are back and up and running, even with one arm. We're gonna make this work. I will be stuck in here like this for a few episodes. I actually have to wear this I have to wear this for literally 3 weeks. Anywho, y'all know where to find me. Rain M, Facebook. I am raynemartine and a Legendary Mess on IG. Legendary Mess on YouTube. And you can find me as raynemartine on TikTok. I'm still building Spotify, but you can find me on there too. Legendary Mess. It should be fun, guys. Anywho, I had a whole different episode worked out, but I figured I need to be honest. And part of being a legendary mess is owning where you're at and what season you're in and how to just, navigate it messily, gracefully, all of that. So the questions, cousins, is, has there ever been a time you thought God or the situation or the circumstance was such an inconvenience, but in return, if you sit back and think, it is a redirection? So we're going to touch that. We are. But first, cousins, I missed you. Favorite, peace, and blessings over your whole entire season, your week, your month, your day, your just favorite, peace, and blessings over you guys. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. I actually really, really, really miss doing the podcast. I'm also working on a few things to bring this, make this more lively. If you're asking why my forehead is so big, I talk to my mother. I roast myself. I have a 5 head, okay? It's big, but it's full of knowledge and it's full of biblical, spiritual love. And if you're going to roast my arm, just know, when it heals, I'm still a beast in this gym. That's what I thought. Anywho. But yes, we're gonna touch this injury. It'll lead into my injury. Actually, is the very reason why I'm touching on redirection. So, um, first and foremost, cousins come in quick. We gotta do a messy confessions, and I had a few, so I think I'm gonna do like two or three during my fast. During my fast, I experienced spiritual warfare, like real heavy for like 4 or 5 days. I was not in a good space. I cried. But I made it out stronger, and I'm still getting rid of whatever residue. But it makes me very aware of who I am, who I serve, and the power that He has placed in me, and that He is truly, truly just good. Not great, but good. And there's a big difference with that. And we're going to touch that probably another episode or at the end of this one, maybe. Two, I took a nutrition seminar. And it was me and Star, and I went because of her co-worker who also works at the gym that I frequent. And, I'm a girl's girl, but I also like to support others because I like to learn, but support is always needed no matter what. And I see her all the time, so I was like, I'm gonna just go. So we did the seminar, and, she was a little bit nervous. But let me tell y'all something. Some of y'all, I'm not going to just leave it to a race. I'm sorry, not a race. I'm not going to leave it to a gender. But I am going to call it out. During the seminar, there was a guy, he was very judgy. We didn't like that. So I ended up playing anchor. And it really, really sucks that people will rather come and judge than come and learn and come and see and come and feel things out. But that's life. But we serve a really big God. All get handled. During the seminar, there was a older gentleman. He was given judgy. We didn't like that. And what made it worse was like, it wasn't a big seminar, and that's okay. But boy, oh freaking boy. Right after it was over, it was me, Star, and her co-worker. I'm not going to, tell her name just for privacy reasons. It was me, Star, and her co-worker. Why were we the only ones cleaning up and dismantling? Where were the guys at? Y'all walk around this gym quick to hit on us and got muscles and don't help us. I'm a little pet peeved about that, but it's cool. It's not in my hands. But I noticed. You ought to be ashamed that y'all mothers raised y'all to be that way. And if they didn't raise y'all to be that way, super for shame. But you know what? It is what it is. And third messy confessions. I'm good for getting injured. The ER and urgent care love to see me coming. Okay, they love taking my money. They love seeing me coming. Okay, it's very annoying. To me, this injury feels a little bit like an inconvenience, but I really truly know it's not. Okay, so that's the messy confessions, all three of them. There's juicier stuff. It's coming. Just not this episode. We're keeping it rather light. So, yes, I have my allergies, and New York has been on a weird weather sketch. Like, it's raining one minute, it's warm the next minute, then it's... yesterday, I experienced, like, actual snow flurries in May. So, I don't know. It's beyond me. But I never experienced snow flurries in May, and I thought that was really dope. And I was like, well, would you look at God? It also made me think of my favorite song, Save the Best for Last by Vanessa L. Williams, because she has a line in the song that says, sorry, y'all. There's a line in the song that says, sometimes the snow comes down in June. It's almost June, and there was legit snow flurries posing as rain yesterday as I was leaving the gym. And before y'all ask why was this injury is a couple of days old. we're gonna get into it. So, children, gather around. Hold on, let me clean my nose. This is so ghetto. I'm just out here one winging it, y'all. All right, we're about to get it. Oh, I should have just left it here. I'm about to just stick this right here. Boom. I wonder if y'all can still hear. I think y'all can. So, yay. All right. Actually, this might come in handy. So I don't have, normally I have my nails, my signature hoop earrings. I actually had to change my hoop earrings out for studs because I struggle too much with one arm, and I'm supposed to keep my arm in place, my shoulder really in place. So basically what happened was, I'm not blaming it all on the gym. This is also because I coach dancing, and I also do a lot of repetitive movements in there too. So the gym has been my very place of just bettering myself, and it's my quiet time for my brain to kind of settle and hone in. I also use training at the gym to better partner up myself with God. I know that sounds a little different, but hear me out. When I say partner up myself with God, I mean I have to kind of like, the moments where I feel weary and I feel tired, I'm praying through it, and I'm like, I need help, or tell me I'm doing too much, right? So it's still a form of dependency on God. I train with God in those moments. A lot of the time I have on worship music. A lot of times my questions that I have that I may have forgotten about pop up. So that's me and God's little activity time in the gym. This week I think I was a little bit more harder on myself than normal, and basically in between gym, dance, and lifting heavy things in general, I messed my rotator cuff up again. First and foremost, when I say again, my rotator cuff is torn. Did not know I had. So a few years ago, I had really like badly messed my rotator cuff up. And I didn't know that I had the injury for well over 15, 16 years. So the injury of my rotator cuff actually came from cheerleading. When they did the x-ray, they were like, you didn't know you had this? And I was like, absolutely not. Nobody told me anything. And I don't remember suffering a shoulder injury. That's because my pain tolerance is super duper through the roof. So 90% of the time when I injure myself, I don't know I'm injured. Don't ask me why. God designed me that way. So my rotator cuff was torn some years back. I refused to have the surgery, and I was like, I'll figure out a way to self-heal. Because I'm hard-headed, and I'm being honest, because I'm very hard-headed, it was very interesting because even looking back, I'm back in the same space, but in a very bigger and much different scenario. When I tore my rotator cuff some years ago, when I actually found out that it was torn and my shoulder had to be stuck in place, and I was refusing, I was very heavily against the surgery because I have to pay out of pocket for that. So yeah, no, it's not happening. It will eventually, just not right now, because that's a year of me being out with one arm. And right now I got to kind of still stay in the pocket with a few things, but we'll get to that. So when I tore it when I found out that I had my rotator cuff retorn, there was a million questions, like from the doctors and from me, because we were trying to figure out why this was missed. And at that point, they were like, you do need surgery. And I was like, not on my watch. It'll not happen. And I'm going to explain why I also did not want the surgery. I don't do well with anesthesia. I don't even do well with pain meds. I've often, so the reason I also am honest in this space about redirection is because, one, I don't do well with pain meds. I don't do well with anesthesia. I've had surgeries before, and when I'm placed under anesthesia, it's all chaos. I don't like it. I also don't like not having full control of my body. That makes me very, very nervous. It does something to my anxiety. It really trips me up. Um, and I also have really terrible reactions after. Like, I had a surgery after I had Rosie, and I was given morphine and threw it right. I reacted so poorly to it that I was throwing up. So they gave me really high, a high powered, a high dosage of Tylenol, basically, because I was throwing up so much I was making myself dehydrated, and the stitches were like technically coming undone. After I had Joshua, they gave me Percocet, threw it up, and there was a very likely possibility that I may have been allergic to it. We haven't tested it. I don't want to test it. I'm too scared to test it, but not my brightest, not my finest moment. It was really bad. When I underwent other procedures, like the removal of my late twins, um, when I came out of the anesthesia, I went through an extreme throwing up and upset stomach, and I'm gonna be first to tell y'all, I just don't do well with anesthesia. If it's not Tylenol, if it's not Advil, even, don't bother giving it to me. I could take an Naproxen, but even that comes with a risk with me, because if I start to take it like too much, I'll throw it back up. So yeah, I don't do well with anesthesia. I feel like they would have to keep me awake with no anesthesia to do surgery, because the way that I'll react, I might undo the work that they just did. And I don't really like pain management like that. I'm not saying I'm a masochist. What I'm saying is, due to family histories of certain addictions, not me, relatives, generational things, I am not willing to play those type of games. And I'm really fortunate that God designed me where I'm not good with anesthesia or pain management. So great. Thank you. You keep doing me. I'm going to give him glory for that, because there's a lot of people that I've seen who gotten addicted, and I just be throwing it up and pooping it out. And then I'm back in pain again. So you know what? That's a blessing as far as I'm concerned. It is. It's a blessing. So basically, I don't do well with pain management meds that are not the basic things that I usually use. I have really terrible reactions. I also feel like this would be a very tricky surgery on me to have to be out a year. And my job requires me lifting to a certain degree. So maybe not, it'll happen. I just don't know when. It's just not going to be now. So basically, I got up one morning, and it's really messed up, because for a couple of days my shoulder was very much bothering me, and I shrugged it off, because it wasn't something like it didn't get to the space where it was like painful and annoying. One morning I finally get up. This is after gyms and after my usual, routine. I'm waking the kids up. I'm getting, I'm like, all right, let's get into routine. First and foremost, I usually take about an hour to just sit with myself, center myself with God in the morning, because that's how I start my day. When I couldn't like stretch, like do basic movements like this, I was actually forcing my arm up. I felt the weight of, my arm just not having the fight in it, and I still was forcing it up, which is bad. And that's what I did the last time. Clearly I'm not smart. But I couldn't do basic movements like this. I couldn't even shrug. And I knew something was wrong. I just didn't want to alert the kids. And at that point, I was like, I'm going to urgent care. They love to see me coming. Love to see me. I went, and unfortunately, I have rotator cuff bursitis. Basically, the sac in my shoulder is inflamed from lifting and, you know, basic movements, the same repetitive movements. So it's aggravated, and I got like 2 to 3 weeks in this stupid, in this lovely brace of a contraption. So I'm thugging it out, and I had this realization when I got the diagnosis. The first thing I thought of was like, dang, as soon as I came out the fast, I can't never have peace. But then God was like, hold that thought. You can't have peace, or you being set up for something bigger. And I was like, what you talking about, Willis? Me and God have our own little sense of humor. But I promise there's a point. He was like, I need you to just go back and think to the last time you had your shoulder pulled. Well, not pulled, but, your shoulder was messed up. So I sat with it. And I was like, well, the last time that happened, it was amazing because it forced me to slow down. And I have a very hard time with that. So it forced me to slow down. It forced me to kind of have certain help step up and, kind of move a certain way. It also showed me a good level of who checks in on me, who would just pop up, show up, and just kind of be of help, or even just sit on the phone and just be like, yo, did you do A, B, and C? Or remind me of like my meds, or, making sure I have ice on my shoulder, things like that, small things. And he was very, very intentional when I had that injury some years ago, because I was just like, what am I supposed to do with, like, I got one arm. And it was very funny because anytime I get an injury, I know I'm being redirected into something, and it's so much bigger than what I thought it was, and it's something that I wouldn't have seen or chosen for myself, but God knows so much better than I do. So I leave it in his hands. As soon as I realized like my shoulder was out of commission, and I was just like, dang, like, why would you send me to true story, my fast in February, God told me to go back to the gym, and I was really, 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 really getting ready to throw the ultimate, like, absolutely not tantrum. And I couldn't because he sent Star in because she works at the gym. And then she was like, hey, I got this got this free 3-day pass. And she wanted me to go try it. And not because just I'm a good, friend, but sometimes it's just smarter to try it, right? I went back. First and foremost, he caught me really nicely. What forced me to, not forced, but got me to definitely just see it through was because I was moving into my home. I went to lift something and I was out of breath. Let me tell y'all something that made me sad, because I'm naturally a person who is strong physically, emotionally, mentally. When my physical space is threatened by like the lack of, can't do it. So I was struggling to pick up regular basic boxes, even though they were much heavier than me. Normally I could do that with ease. This time that wasn't it. Like, I was struggling. I was out of breath. I was doing one of those. And sorry y'all, allergies. And that was too much. So I saw Star following, the following few hours, and I was like, what day are you going? What day are you free? And I'll go. So it was crazy because I ended up going, and with the 3-day free pass, I didn't even make it 3 days. I ended up going. I was already familiar with the gym. If you guys don't know, I have a history of cheerleading and dance. With dance, I often had to be in the gym because I needed the muscles and the strength to, move around fluidly and be in shape, and kind of when we did certain routines and composures and things, I needed to still be solid enough muscle wise to execute these things. Plus, it was helping me with my asthma. But in cheerleading with throwing and tossing people, that also plays a part in me going to the gym. So with those two very heavy training spaces, I often spent more time in the gym than I like to when I was in high school and a little after it, after I had Azaria. But definitely, I fell off of it after a while because one, life started life and I became a mom. Like I had Azaria, then 2 years later I had Joshua, a year later I had Angeli. I got married and life was lifing. And the way that my structure was, it didn't leave me actual time to go to the gym. So, and I was too tired to like do the at home exercises after a while. So then when I slowly started getting back into it, I got pregnant again. Don't ask. Then I gave myself time because with Rosie, she was my second heaviest pregnancy. Fun fact, a lot of people who have gotten the opportunity to be around me during those times or has witnessed all of my pregnancies, they will often tell you my smallest was Azaria because I had severe morning sickness and there was a situation that I don't wish upon anybody going on with me. But Rosie, everybody will say I was all belly. That might be true, but I was also 81 pounds of weight pregnant with her. That's sad. Terrible. And with Aviana, rest my beautiful baby soul, I'm not going to tell y'all no lie, I gained 115 pounds. So God had to, and I don't get me wrong, did I lose all of it? It just went into obvious places. Like I store a lot of my stress or just weight in my stomach, my thighs, and my hips. Never my butt. I don't understand what's going on here, but we're getting that together. Except the pandemic. Pandemic weight ate me up. Although it was very unhealthy, I still looked like I was looking good, but it was very unhealthy. I'll be first to say that. But after going through a very traumatic pregnancy and a traumatic stillbirth, and finding out I was 115 pounds heavier, God, he eased me in. He gave me almost a year. And then I went on a fast, and I went on the 21-day fast in February. It had to be like day 15, day 17. And he was like, you're going back to the gym, right? I was like, not me. Never me. And he was like, yeah, you're going back to the gym. And I was getting ready to protest it, and that's when he sent Star strategically in. So when I went under the free pass. First of all, I did the free pass, then I signed up, and I was already like, God, why would you want me to go to the gym? Like, do I not have enough bills? They called me because there was a special happening with personal training. God was like, you're going to want to answer this phone call. I need you to answer this phone call. Take the phone call. I ended up taking the phone call, and that's how I ended up with my trainer now because of what he specializes in. So God blessed me tremendously in so many ways with pushing me to go back to the gym. And he really, really had to baby step me because I have a lot of gym trauma. You know how people have church trauma? I got gym trauma. I don't even have church trauma. Like, don't get me wrong, I've had like a couple of unfortunate issues in church, but not to the point that I'm traumatized. Gym, trauma, okay? Huge trauma. But God was really gracious and he worked me through it. So when I had to sit this out, let me first and foremost, I just got my arms to look the way that I wanted to, and I'm now getting ready. I was in this space where my trainer and I were getting ready to make it look a certain level of finesse, and I was hit with this. Got redirected real quick, and I was like, well, what the crap? I was like, God, every time you tell me go on a fast, I'm either met with warfare, I'm sad, I'm sick, something. And I started realizing, every time before he's, first of all, if anyone doesn't understand, when God tells you to fast, 9 times out of 10 is him refining you and moving the things that aren't him out the way. He's giving you that space to kind of reflect, get tighter with him so he can talk to you, so you can better serve your gifts and the ministry and give him glory, because we often are be like, it's my luck. Sorry, but I'm going to quote Jonathan McReynolds. It's not luck. He loves us. And that's what it is. He loves us enough to move things out the way for us so we can get to where we're at. So sometimes y'all need to take that time to fast and just kind of lock in. And that's what I did. Anytime he tells me to fast, I do it. No questions, no, like and whenever God tells me to do something, I move. So when he told me in February I was going to be back doing this fast in May, I was like, all right, bet, I'm game. Hardest fast of my life thus far. I cried a lot. I learned so much about what God really has been just trying to sit me down to listen to and show me, and I'm really grateful. But I will say, as soon as the fast is over, and I truly, like the next day, I really truly wish I was making it up. No, was it the next? No, it's the same day. The same day that the fast is over, I was struggling to lift my arm. Prior to that, I noticed I could not, I was like having pain in my shoulder, and I just kept shrugging it off because I was like, all right, whatever. If you've ever, and I'm gonna be honest, you know what I was doing, and this probably didn't make it no better. If you guys have, I'm terrible. I shouldn't laugh at this, but I make fun of myself very often. Y'all are more than welcome to laugh. If you've ever seen Marvel with Captain America, the Winter Soldier, the character Bucky with the arm made of vibranium, right? Because I'm sorry, I'm gonna let y'all know first and foremost, I am a comic book nut. Like I read DC, my dad had us like reading I wasn't an average child. Like I was introverted, I liked staying home. I read comics, I read the encyclopedia for fun, like it is what it is. On so many levels, it is what it is. But if you've ever watched The Winter Soldier, the movie, and Bucky does this thing where his arm, and specific, I'm saying this, The Winter Soldier, you can even look it up on YouTube. They're fighting on the highway, and Bucky does this because Black Widow throws something at his arm, if I'm not mistaken, and it kind of disarms him a little. Bucky does this thing where he like kind of like tosses his arm back into place. Stupid me did that thinking I was Bucky. I probably damaged it even more, but didn't feel in my head when people are like, oh, like I'm in pain 9 to 10. My version of the way that my shoulder felt, it didn't feel like, oh my gosh, there's something wrong. It really took until like I was trying to lift my arm where I was like, something's not right. Like even right now, the level of pain that most people would consider like, oh my gosh, like my arm is hurting, I wouldn't. Like my arm hurts now, like my shoulder and my arm hurt now, because the pain radiates to my elbow. It's dull. Well, for me, it's dull. Somebody else would be like, take the whole arm. For me, it's very dull. And that's what also played a part. It was super dull to me. So Yeah. But after God had to humble me, he was like, yo, I need you to sit still. This is him telling me to sit still. So I already kind of got the sense. I'm like, I'm being redirected for something. I just don't know what. And it's not my place to figure out what the redirection is. That's where God likes to be mysterious. He likes to surprise us. He likes to blow our minds. In the words of Pastor Mike Jr., God's about to blow my mind. That he's going to do that. And it's going to be real subtle too. It's not even going to be like anything chaotic. But because of, first and foremost, then I had to thank my lucky stars after God sat me down and humbled me, because he was like, you about to sit this out for like 2-3 weeks, sis. You be all right. In my head, I was ready to go into worry and panic, but I had to pray, and I was like, all right, God, grant me the peace. In my head, as I was getting ready to go into the extreme panic mode of, yo, what about personal training? What about this? What about my daughter's birthday? Like, I had plans. God, I was trying to be outside for a little bit, if the weather permitted and they'll help me to. Let me tell you, he redirected the mess out of it. He was like, we're going to sit. You're going to sit still. You're going to sit in silence. I want you to pay attention. Not only do I want you to pay attention, I want you to take note. And I want you to allow me to do work, right? He granted me peace, and I was like, all right, I'm peaceful. Here's where I was like, well, what are you about to do? And he said, don't worry about what I'm about to do. Just stay still and receive it. I was like, all right, big man, you got it. And it brought me down to how when I got injured the last time, and it was really dope. There was the most unsuspecting people showed up for me, and I was so like, whoa, like, okay, because previously, and sometimes still even now, I struggle with the thought of like people actually giving a crap about like my well-being and my mental space, because I can tell you, I can count on probably like one hand people who actually be on my neck about my well-being, my mental health, my emotional health, you know what I mean? So I was like, ain't nobody worried about me, I'll be alright. And I saw with that last time I messed up my shoulder, the most unsuspecting people showed up, even in the smallest ways, like to just keep me laughing so I wouldn't like dwell, or to just make sure my spirits were high, or to like allow me to be a part of something that I normally would have missed. And I thought that was so dope. Like, that was amazing. Then I can even, then I was like, there's some benefits to me being one arm now. This is years ago with the when I jacked it up the first time. I would have been like, I quit. Now, I don't know. I can like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. Like, spray deodorant. I can hide things in my. So when I've been like not using bags, I forgot I had this. I actually just bought this because I ran out. But see, I'm a mess. I forgot it was in there because it's comfortable. But things like that. I've learned that even this situation that should be hard for me, and I should be sad, I'm not. I'm gonna make it work, and that allows others to kind of not baby or coddle me, but they make it work with me too. And whatever God's doing as this redirection, I'm excited. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna be honest, I really don't. Considering like this was a very different fast from the ones that I've already like went through, I don't know what he's about to do. I just know it's gonna be big, and I'm just here for it. Whatever he wants to do, I'm here. But I will say, getting dressed in the morning sucks. Getting dressed in the morning sucks. Going to sleep super sucks. And no, I don't wear this to sleep. I actually usually have like a pillow, like my shoulder is propped up. I don't know what happened last night. My shoulder was propped up. I don't know what happened. I woke up this morning in this time I will say I really was in excruciating pain. I woke up, my shoulder, I felt like my shoulder was like on something. I don't know what type of steroids or whatever, but it was on something. I was like, all right, God, I'm gonna root myself in you first, but I'm gonna ice my shoulder as I'm doing it. So I was like, my daughter got up, she saw me, and I had ice on my shoulder because I was, even my kids know if I'm like, all right, I'm in pain, then I've hit a certain level of 10 where, all right, she's in pain, we gotta actually like move and take it serious, because I'm not a person who complains or says I'm in pain. But when I was in pain this morning, boy oh boy, that ice came in handy. And because I hate pain management, I'm using the very nice extra strength Tylenol that my mom has, that she got prescribed by her doctor because she a little pain tolerant too. And them things has been working, but I don't take them all the time. It's only when I'm really like legitimately in pain. Or when I know that my shoulder's flaring up. Like you could actually see the swelling. I want to say cuckoo bananas, but God's got me. He has it. So I'm currently sat. That's all I got. I'm sad. But I'm not mad. I'm pretty grateful I'm sad. Because now it gave me an opportunity to kind of just chill. And my favorite cousins, she's up here too. Cousin Phyllis, cousin Caprice. And God bless. Because since she's been here for like 2 weeks. So she saw me before pre-injury, and then she saw me more than ever, and I was like, I'm going to the urgent care. And when they came back, they went to a lunch and came back, and I was in this, and they were like, oh, you really want? I said, yeah, I'm not going to play with my shoulder no more. Because I'm good for, I'll put it off. Now, my kids, I won't put off. But me, I'll put it off. I'll put it off for as long as I can, just to not pay $75 in the emergency room. But I went to urgent care, so it wasn't that bad. And and they love to see me coming. Like they looked and was like, "So what'd you do?" And I was like, "It's the shoulder." They were prepared, and well, now I'm here in this nice little mobilizing brace. But I'm not mad. I'm not anything. I'm actually finding joy out of this. And I heard my sister just now in my head as I was saying that. My older sister, Charles, who I also called a twin, because I don't know why we look super alike, but we do. I think it's because we were just like close even growing up. And she was my second mom for for a very good long time. So even with her, I heard her in my head just be like, I don't know how you be looking for the joy in a lot of like horrendous situations. I don't know neither. God wired me that way, but I'm very fortunate. Out my shoulder. Okay. So, because now I'm starting to feel it a little more and I don't like that. So I gotta go, take my nice little time out and put the ice over my shoulder, and figure out how to be a one-arm bandit for some food, because I'm hungry again. And before y'all ask me if I'm going to gain a lot of weight, no, because they told me I could walk the treadmill. That's what I'm saying to do. I'm going to walk the heck out of these treadmills after I ice my shoulder. But I be walking the treadmill, though. I sure enough do. I be walking that sucker something fierce. And even my trainer was like kind of taken aback when he saw me. And then he saw me the next day, and I was on the treadmill just nonchalant, taking my time, watching other podcasts and listening to God and listening to Make Room album. That album does something to my soul. So does the People album. Because I have certain songs that have legitimately sat me down. Shout out to Jonathan McReynolds. Y'all need to pray over him. I hope he's well. For real. Because he be making music and he got his. I'm from. If God grants me permission to go to Chicago and be part of that live album that he's doing this summer, I'm going. I have pictures. I'll tell y'all all about it. But if God allows it, I'm out. It's gone. But I first got to get my shoulder together. He might still let me go with the shoulder injury too. Like, who knows? But yeah. So, before I sign all the way off to go ice this poor shoulder, because Lord knows I need to. It's starting to pick up. And I'm pretty sure I probably did something and forgot in my sleep, like doing this, or like trying to, because I sleep in a ball, and I like I'm a simple person. I sleep in a ball. I sleep in fetal position, really. I sleep kind of like that because it's comfortable. And it could have been my weighted blanket too. Oh, God, I can't get the weighted blanket up. I need it. It helps with the anxiety at night, but he gonna get me right with that too. Before I completely sign all the way off, I'm sorry I'm a mess, y'all, but I'm honest. I'm honest in my mess. Y'all gonna see. It is like I'm jacked up. I was gonna come on here and try to fake it till I made it. I was like, that's not me being transparent and honest, and I want to be transparent and honest with y'all at all times. So I'm jacked up. It's gonna be a great time, isn't it, children? It's gonna be fun. But yes, before I sign all the way off, first and foremost, please. Well, before I go that far, I need y'all to sit with this and really think on it. Has there ever been a circumstance or a situation that you thought wholeheartedly was an inconvenience, but it really did something? It was really God moving and getting you to a space that you wouldn't have foreseen for yourself, or it was just a redirection in general? Because I could tell you, I don't know what this is, but baby, I was sat. Me and my arm are sat. I'm currently kicking my toes right now. Y'all can't see. I have to sit upright on my sofa because if I lay down all the way, I'm gonna hurt myself again. Let's pray that it's only 3 weeks that I'm in here. Speedy recovery, folks. Speedy, super speedy. Because I have follow-ups in like a week and a half, 2 weeks. So, have you ever, again, the question stands, have you ever been in a situation or a circumstance or where you just, it felt like such an inconvenience or like the most inappropriate or ill-mannered timing, when it was really a redirection and a miracle or a blessing or in disguise that God kind of just was like, I needed you to be still, or I needed to do that to get you to see what I'm doing. And share it in the comments, in my inbox, all that good stuff. Please help me not be bored, okay? Having this injury, I be bored and I need something to do, like to still feel normal. Because I don't feel normal with one arm. I don't feel normal with any actual injury, so I need all the normalcy. I don't believe there's such thing as normalcy, but I need all the normalcy I can get. And yeah, sit with that question and think about it, and let's chit chat. And once you chit chat, we can let's figure it out. Let's see what kind of miracles are unfolding. And me and my one arm, we're gonna make it work. But sit with that question, think about it, tell me about it. And yeah, so with that being said, We give ourselves grace in the same manner that God gave us grace, and we extend that grace to others. This, cousins, is a safe space. And 3, I love you, but God loves you more. Y'all know the handles. I'm a legendary, I am raynemartine, a legendary mess IG, legendary mess on YouTube and Spotify, raynemartine TikTok, rainem on Facebook. I don't really like Facebook. I still don't like Facebook, but we're working through it. And yeah, come children, come be a part of the conversation. I love it. And with that being said, cousins, it's been fun. I miss you guys. I'll be back. And I'll be back with one arm again. But it's all good. It's all good. I love you. But God really, truly loves you way more than I do. His love is infinite. And I hope you guys have an amazing week and weekend and Memorial Weekend. I know I will, because it's my daughter's birthday Sunday, so I'm going to turn up with one arm. It's up. Turn up at church. Turn up at the church. I'm going to just do all that. Just, one arm. God's got me. He's going to bring me through. One arm and all. Aside from that, I love you guys. God loves you guys so much more. Remember, God gave us grace, and we extend that to others, but we're also graceful on ourselves. Don't be too hard on yourselves. Don't do it, because I was ready to do that to myself over this injury, and I'm not. It happens. It's a redirection. Ow. See? With that being said, I can't even do the kiss part because I love you guys. Bye.